Greetings. This is Skylar Saunders seeing what's current. We'll get to the topics. Hold on. We can get to the topics, but I want to make sure I say this off top, off the rip. Them sand niggers in Gaza Strip are getting what they deserve. And it backs it up. I said it yesterday. They just put up a post I've never heard of before. Yes, I'm late, Rick James, but you're broke and you're allegedly broke and you need to start paying for the show. Thanks for telling people about the story, but I lost, so it's a totally different day. But I want to make sure y'all know that them sand niggers in the Gaza Strip, which needs to be bombed into oblivion, into complete devastation, they're getting exactly what they deserve. Men, women, and children, the youngest crawling to the oldest walking, they deserve it because they should have been in a different country. They would have found a way to get into or be civilized and live in Israel or somewhere. That's probably their closest country that was of technological or civilized manner. Or they could have went abroad. They could have been to the United States and been civil. They could have been to South America. They could have been to China. They could have been anywhere else. Okay? They're getting what they deserved. So the barbarism of Hamas, it's Hamas and Gaza war, not Israel's war. Israel was attacked. People I know and love say hurt people hurt people. How hurt people hurt people? Yes, Jews have been hurt. Yes, the Israeli state has been hurt. But they were hurt to begin with. They were brutally attacked. They were terrorized, literally. So they're not reacting out of just because they got their emotions all twisted. They're reacting justly, just war theory. You know, because of rational actions taken against, because there were actions taken against them, they're doing the rational, righteous thing and attacking those who attacked them. So I just want to let y'all know, them sand niggers are getting what they deserve, getting every bit of retribution that they deserve. All right, now I gotta talk about nigga shit. As you can see on the screen, as you can see on, well, not this screen, but on the showrunner, Fat Joe wants to open up a casino in Times Square, along with Jay-Z and Roc Nation. But who isn't in Roc Nation? Roc Nation is like an actual nation. It's like an actual country. Who either somebody was in it or not in it anymore. Let me make sure I have a rundown. J. Cole, Meek Mill, Fabulous, CMG, who were in CMG? Yo Gotti, a Fat Joe. I mean, it's like a whole system of different people that come and go, or have the Rockefeller chain, or you know, they're repping the Rock. You know, I'm not mad. I'm just saying it's just weird. It's kind of strange how that system goes. But he wants to have that casino down there in Times Square, and the odd thing is, people are you know, saying, you know, brushing up against it. He had food. He want the one of the people that was behind it. She said she wanted to break bread. That usually alleviates the tension in the room. Usually provides a way for people to sit down and discuss ideas and not be hampered. Now I can't find it. Ain't this a mess? Ain't this a mess? I can't even find it. Hold on. Let me see for a second. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. It was just up here. We were rolling. We were popping and rolling and strong. All right, here it goes. Fat Joe shows support for Roc Nation Casino bid with surprise Hell's Kitchen appearance. So he was in Hell's Kitchen. He brought the food. He had some grub. He had some tidbits. They got pictures of $3 million deal, mental health programs, $3 million for mental health programs, $2 million probably for projects for schools for kids, and they're still not buying it. He says you'll have black and brown leadership ready to take care of all the arts, give hundreds of jobs out to the community. Isn't that cute? And that's like a big turkey drive, where I'm a hot flashy rapper, but I still care about where what my roots in New York City and everything like that. That's where I come from. Never, not everybody's happy though. There's a person named Alita Lafargue, the president of the Tenants Association, called the casino a predatory move and quote, would do nothing but harm to our community. She's urging for people to not sign up to support it. She's asked, quote, how could you simultaneously invite members of the community and surprises? She asked. This has most definitely been a surprise attack. As you can see, our block is filled up with people with signature clipboards with little iPads asking for people to sign and then handing them flyers that say how they're going to revitalize your community. When people think of Square, they don't realize that it's adjacent to a residential area where the people are really in jeopardy of falling prey to the predatory business that a casino is. My family is from Atlantic City, so I know very well what the methods of casinos are, and they are not to revitalize the communities that surround them. She was heated. Now we have a Roc Nation representative, Angela Rye. I know that when you have a conversation where people have strong opinions without breaking bread, literally breaking bread, having food back and forth, it gets a lot more contentious, and we don't want that. We want to invite people to receive feedback, whether it's positive or negative or indifferent. Even Alicia Keys is a member or an affiliate of Roc Nation. Who isn't part of Roc Nation? That's what my question should have been. Who isn't part of Roc Nation? Hell's Kitchen? No, Hell's Kitchen is in New York, Rick James. Hell's Kitchen is in New York. But I just want to know who is not a part of Roc Nation right now. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see about the people. All right, so there's publishing equity. Here's a former artist: Alexa Goddard, Alexis Jordan, Bridget Kelly, Karate, Demi Lovato, Freeway, Gabby DiMartino, Grimes, Haim, Anna, Jerron Benton, Jay Park, K Coke, Kanye West, Kyle Watson, and that's Ye, by the way. Kylie Minogue, MIA, Meek Mill, Mariah Carey, Niani, Nasty C, Nick Jones, Beautiful, Rito Ora, Romans, Romeo Santos, Shakira, Sugar Babes, T.I., T.Y. Savage, Wale, and Yellow Claw. And there's just too many current artists to name, so I'll just name a few. Carissa Molina, Christina Aguilera, I didn't even realize that, Jadakiss, Hit Boy, Miguel, and a whole host of others. Oh my God. Jay-Z's, yeah, you're coming close, Rick James, to his birthday. His birthday is going to be on Friday. So you're going to definitely be in the right with saying happy birthday to him, because it will definitely be his birthday. But Fat Joe, he wants to be so black. He just wants to be black. He wants to be black. That's all he wants to be. He wants brown businesses. He wants to own his brownness, his Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, whatever the case may be nowadays, heritage, but claim to be, a nigger word user. He used that back and forth. And the only reason why he gets a pass is because his audience is mostly black people. J-Lo couldn't get a pass when she said, I tell them niggas mind they biz, but they don't hear me though. Because her audience is mainly little teen, or was at that time especially, little teeny boppers and white kids. So there's a totally different disconnect between those two artists. And I think they collaborated before, but I'm not sure exactly how many times. But back to Fat Joe. He wants this casino. He wants to get this guap. He went to jail for a few months for tax evasion or some kind of tax issues. he's probably not looking forward to going back. So he wants to get in on this casino, get it popping, get it jumping. Jay-Z hasn't. I haven't had any words in the press about him saying anything, even though he'll have a big stake into it and stake in it. I'm sure of it. But they're arguing. He's saying that the casino is going to be a boon for the community, and it's going to create jobs and be beneficial to the arts programs and the plays that go on in Times Square. And it just seems like bullshit, quality bullshit from Fat Joe, the platinum selling artist that licks his brand new sneakers. Pay attention, on cribs in his house, which was like a row house. It wasn't that like big of a mansion or anything like that. It was a modest sized good house, But he had a whole row of all these Nikes and Jordans and everything like that, and he was just licking the bottoms of them, show him how he doesn't, wear them out or anything like that. They're just in the box. But maybe he was hungry. I don't know. That was hate. That was a fat joke. He's Fat Joe, so he gets a fat joke. So getting on with it, and plus I gotta put this up here, of course. $0 raise of $80. $0 raise of $80. I'm looking for $80 tonight. Trying to get to that $80 mark. I got to $40 one night, and that's the thing. I did $10, then I did $20, then I did $40. Now I'm at $80. Oh, I gotta hate on Fat Joe. I have to hate on him. I'm hating on him objectively. I hate on him, and I do little fat jokes because that's fun. He's actually a lot slimmer than he used to be. He's actually slimmed down. I gotta respect him for that. He stopped putting the Doritos in the Dr. Pepper for a little while. Stopped putting the taquitos and the in the what he's dunking taquitos and the what's that drink called? God damn it! It's on the tip of my tongue. Tequila, yeah, or he's just used to that now. He's probably on a weight regimen. He's on an exercise plan. Patron, that's what I was trying to think of. Oh my god, that's how my brain works. Huh? He's probably on that Patron. He's probably stopped putting taquitos and Patron. So he's probably looking out for his health. He's trying to get his weight up, and that's not a joke. He's trying to get his money up. You know what I mean? He's trying to get his money up, trying to get everything he can possibly do. And so, that's the thing he's trying to do. And of course, Paul Rubens would be on Rick James's mind. He would have Paul Rubens' idea on it, but no, Fat Joe is he could be doing the damn thing. He could get a good percentage of this if the plans go through. If enough signatures are passed, then they'll have the opportunity to have this casino. And they're arguing it's going to be like the 70s and 80s at Times Square, where there was peep shows and card sharps and people in the streets yelling, and there was people with Bibles saying repent and everything like that. They got all that the hell out of there. They got Disney now. They got Panasonic and Sony and all kinds of billboards and all kinds of stuff like that. It's super family friendly. It's go to a show, go to the Lion King, go see Mean Girls, go see all these shows. So that's pretty much what it means to be on a status of for Fat Joe and Jay-Z and Roc Nation. They have the opportunity to make it at least the money grab. I mean, it's adult entertainment, but it's not like strippers or something like that. It's not like XXX and so peep shows like it was in the 70s and 80s. It's just a casino. And you have to be prepared for that. There's gonna be alcohol, of course. There's gonna have to be alcohol licenses. There's gonna be people, dealing with checks and balances and cards and everything of that nature. So that's basically where it is. That's where we are right now. That's how we have to deal with it. That's how we have to understand, the value of the dollar, the value of what makes Fat Joe, a businessman. He carried the cross, as I guess you could say, for Terror Squad when Big Pun passed 2000. So he's relevant and could be a factor. He has major hits. Lean Back, All the Way Up, uh songs with Ashanti. He's got songs with all sorts of people. So, Fat Joe isn't to be played with. He isn't. Yeah, take your photo with Spider-Man. Exactly. That's what Times Square has turned into. It's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different place. I appreciate the fact that I'm talking to Rick James, but 5 people came in and gave me a like. I appreciate that. I have just one person that I know of in the viewership, but I think it's only Rick James because he's the only one responding in the chat. But 5 people said, you know what, I'm not gonna watch, but here's a like, dude. There you go. I'm out, but I'll make sure I like it. I appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm going. Roc Nation. Can you throw up the rock, or is it still not cool to throw up the rock? What is it? Is it this? Anybody who knows sign language knows what that is. So it's like anyone else. Rick, I keep on saying, I want to say Rick. Fat Joe has his ducks in a row. It seems like he has his business lined up. He's out there petitioning. He literally brought food to Hell's Kitchen, and he tried to put. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Rick James knows. He knows his sign language. But he no, Fat Joe obviously had to sign documents. He had to sign waivers. He probably had to sign different kind of contractual agreements just to get this thing off the ground, just to get it started, just to get it in the minds of people. That's what the whole point of going to Hell's Kitchen was, to get it in the minds of the people, to have them know what it is, have them know what it feels like to be in on the business. He has, I'm sure he has a business with what was it, White Castle? He has the Sloppy Joe burgers, sliders. He knows business. He knows how to get that guap. He can get that guala. As we said, I'm an old head. I'm a real old head. If I say guap and guala, that's from the 2010s. There might be people that are too young to realize that. Well, technically not, because my audience is like 35. It starts out like a little bit of in the 20s and mostly in the 35 to 45 range. So I appreciate anybody who comes in and sees my foolishness, my twisted vomit, as Mr. Troy Star Terrain would say. But I'm very appreciative of anyone that does tune in. But Fat Joe he's trying. He's making his way up. He's trying to make his way up. The lady Alita Lafargue continued. She says, when people think of Times Square, they don't realize that it's adjacent to a residential area where the people are really in jeopardy of falling prey to the predatory business that a casino is. My family is from Atlantic City, and so I know very well what the methods of casinos are, and they are not to revitalize the communities that surround them. Okay, so definitely feeling opposition. Definitely feeling a little bit on the outskirts of this branding, this whole casino idea. Rick James says this: in my opinion, Fat Joe deserves to be as big as Ye, Dr. Dre. He says Kanye, but I say Ye. Ye, Dr. Dre, Snoopy Doggy Dog, all of them. He doesn't deserve getting the end of the sword. Well, Fat Joe's not much of a lyricist. He's not that great of a songwriter. He can make a hit. He'll make a hit, sure, but he's not that great for bar. He has never been. Even when he was in Digging with the Crates, he never really was that sharp of a wordsmith. But he can make a hit. He can definitely string some words together to make a hit song. Definitely if it has a catchy beat. So that's my thing for that. Don't have more water. So that's my thing for that. Yeah, the song with Ashanti. Yeah, the song with Ashanti. What's love got to do with? But I thought that was Ja Rule. Is that Ja Rule or Fat Joe? Is that Ja Rule or Fat Joe? Let me know. I have to make 100% sure. Okay, that's Fat Joe. Ashanti. Yeah, what's love? Yeah, with the LUV, by the way. He was a lot thicker in the face than he is now. He slimmed down considerably. So that's good. That's good for his health. But he's gonna need a lot more support for his venture to be made, the bid to be made into a casino down there on Times Square in New York City. Now I know this is another New York story. This is another New York story. Times Square. Who cares? Times Square, but because it's such a publicity and tourist trap. Everybody wants to go and see. Look at the big billboards. Oh, look at the lights. Look at that. It's like it's a big attraction, and like the New Yorkers just like pay it no mind. They just keep going about their day, go about their lives, get money probably from Times Square. They don't even have a problem with it. But that's the case with it is with Fat Joe. Fat Joe is definitely he's bona fide, he's qualified, and he's certified. But is he a factor? He may be relevant. See, there's a difference. Somebody like Mr. Troy Star Terrain is not relevant, but he's a factor. Fat Joe is relevant because he's in newspaper articles. He's viral sometimes. But is he a factor? Can he be somebody that's a businessman and make those billions that Jay-Z has made? Is that possible? Can he do that? All right, Rick James has a few more words to say. I'm going for Rick James. This is all I need. I'm just talking to one person. This is my therapy. This is my therapist. Rick James is my therapist right now. He says he's one of the best. He was always faithful to his wife and has 4 children. He's a good role model too. Well, I need some proof to that. I can't confirm nor deny whether he's been faithful to his wife or not. Rick James continues. My brother's son used to work at Bubba Gump, located at the heart of Times Square. He meant to say Times Square. He gets a little confused. He's on drugs like I'm on drugs. We're both veterans. He's veteran of the Vietnam War. I didn't fight in the war. I didn't fight, but I served in the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. I was of the era. Veterans on the crack pipe. That's some serious stuff. Look, I got 6 likes. 6 people are coming in and leaving and giving me likes, but they're not sticking around. Okay, I got 2 people, but I don't know the second person. Oh, Greg S. I thought that was Rick James. Greg S. is saying veterans on the crack pipe. Of course, he would say that. I got my brokies in here. I got my alleged brokies because they're really not broke. They're saying, oh, I'm on that wife is Toshiba and I'm waiting for my SS check and it got lost in the mail and all this trash. And it's not true, but because I know better, I can see through these niggas like glass. He's saying he won't be broke for long, pal. Well, you better be giving me, a percentage of whatever you're gonna be making after all this research I do. I'm just saying. You're definitely gonna have to owe me. Let's see about this. It's okay, so there's $20 million going to Broadway. I mean, just seems kind of a little weird though. It just seems weird because Fat Joe really has only his hits. He really doesn't have his big hits. His number one jam, Lean Back, all the way up. You know, he has and What's Love and stuff like that. Like I said, he's a great hit maker. He's just not a great bar for bar rapper. He's not like Jadakiss or somebody like that. You know, that has, you know, super strong bars, can go toe to toe with anybody on the mic. Fat Joe's not like that. It's just not the shit. It's the same thing with Nelly. Nelly has really strong hits, great albums, but he doesn't have that bar for bar effect. He wouldn't be a great battle rapper or anything. And that's nothing to hold against him either. It's just a fact. Same thing with Fat Joe. Greg S says Casino in Times Square is wacky. Rick James says his bars are some of the best of all time, sir. I disagree with you wholeheartedly, completely. I totally disagree with you, sir. And you got to chip in one of these days. You got to put in your SS check one of these times. Put in your full SS check. Don't even leave any for yourself. Just completely give all your money to me. You'll smile. You'll be happy. I'll be happy. Greg S., you the same thing. You got to send in a Cash App one of these days, at least $800, at least at the least. As many times as you've been on the show, it accumulates over time. You had a tab that's run up. You owe at least $750. I'm pushing up to $800, rounded it out. All right, I appreciate that. Thanks, Rick James. Appreciate it. Thanks. No. There's definitely a disconnect between the residents that live near Times Square and the ones at casino. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, all right, just more bright lights that keep me up and, you know, shining into my window at 2 a.m. when I'm trying to get to sleep before I go to work at the sanitation shop. All right. So what? I can go to the casino. I put in, you know, a few bucks, maybe get some change after that. You know? Maybe get some money. Well, Grass, you need to start using Cash App. How about that? Or use PayPal. Use something like that. I use PayPal, Cash App. That's the ones I use primarily. You need to start using it. But Fat Joe definitely has his hand on the grip of the New York Times Square section, the section of that time, part of Manhattan. So he's trying to do something. You know, he's from the Bronx, but he's trying to do something in Manhattan. He's trying to do something big. He's trying to do something, you know. Okay, I did not know that, Greg S. You're bringing news to me. Allegedly, you're saying there is no residential where they are proposing a casino. Well, you're going in exact opposition to what Miss Lafarge says. She's saying that it is predatory and it will do nothing but harm our community. She's urging for people to not sign up to support it. So she must have some kind of idea of her, you know, her place. She's the president of the Tenants Association, so she might have a little bit more knowledge than you do, sir, about the residential area around there. 1515 Broadway, just look on Google Maps. Okay, you can look on Google Earth if you wanted to. She has an idea of what the tenants are saying. She's the president of the Tenants Association. It's not the association. Tenants. Yeah, it's the Tenants Association. I'm sure she has some kind of grasp on it more than you, Greg. Sure, she has more than that. But, you know, Fat Joe, get that bag if you can. If you can't, get the F out of there. Go back to making music. That's all I got to say about Fat Joe. Now, the second runner to the show. Would you let your spouse be a step parent to your child? Now, this seems a very interesting question. And it's a personal question for me. Because my mother and father split up, and I had two step parents, but I don't really call my mother's husband. My mother passed away in 2010. I don't really call him like anything. He didn't call me by my name. I refer to him as his first name, but he's really my brother's dad. That's how I address him and say things like that. That's how I refer to him. He did nothing for me, but he really didn't do anything to me. So it was kind of like the same. He didn't touch me. He didn't have any, fondle me or anything like that. He just wasn't present in my life. He wasn't a factor. He was nothing. He was a nobody to me in the household. It wasn't like I didn't know him. It was like I'd see him and we didn't say anything, and he turned off the lights while I'm in the kitchen. I'm eating a bowl of cereal. He just turned off the lights. Something, it's goofy like that. But Greg asked, that was cute, touching your no-no spot. Of course, he didn't. Nobody has that I didn't agree with or anything like that. Wasn't anything like that. I've never had a homosexual experience. I never will. So if you want to have a discussion about people touching your no-no spot, feel free to fill up the chat. Talk as long as you want. That might be your therapy. But I had my dad married my stepmom, and you're pausing. Okay, resume. So my dad married my stepmom, and she's pretty cool. She's not bad. She's decent. We've had our scuffles verbally. She never hit me. She never touched me inappropriately or anything like that either. But we're on even keel. We're on good terms, better terms than him. I can say her name. I can say who she is, and it's not like a problem. It's not like an issue. It's nothing that I have to be worried about. It's just the fact that I'm asking the question: if you were a spouse and you happened to be divorced and you remarried, would you let your spouse parent your child? Would you let them hit your child if they're correcting them? Not like beat them or abuse them. I mean, there could be a level of abuse if you hit them. There could be physical abuse, but just like a little tap on the bottom or a tap on their shoulder, or something like that. To let them know that's dangerous, that's hot, that's don't go near there, don't do that. If you had that kind of situation, would you still do it? Would you still be in that situation? And why? Why would you let that happen? Would it be because you love your spouse more than your child? Or would you love your child more than your spouse? What do your values lie? Do you want to continue to be, get that good loving in the night? And then you risk and say, you know what? I don't really want you to, to talk to my kids like that. And then they give up, they stop using, the tool or the coochie, because the fact that you said that, you don't want them to discipline them anymore. Tell me about that. Let me massage this situation a little bit. Yeah, I think Greg S may have had a gay experience. That's okay. You could be a part of LGBTQ. That's your business. Some people see that. Some people see that. I've never been in position to be a tax write-off that I know of, because my mom was paying child to my dad. My dad was a sole custody. I just saw my mom every other weekend and on the summers. That's it. That's all we had. Every other weekend in the summer. That's all the time I've seen her. And after the fact that I got older, when I was like 16, 17, 18, she really didn't respond. She didn't really, say much to me. The last time I spoke to her, I think, was, when before she became very ill, was like in 2008 in a Facebook message. But she really didn't, stick up for herself too much. She didn't really stick up for us too much. Her own child, her own children. She pretty much let her husband say and do whatever he wanted, and he had very irrational views, very irrational, completely irrational. And I'm better for it, I think, because I don't have to worry about it, because I always had a dad. I always had a great dad. I knew my dad, loved my dad, respect my dad, like my dad. He's never laid a hand on me. The closest time I think he laid a hand on me was when I was 3 or 4 years old and I broke his Jesus statuette. I was as close as he came. He never laid a hand on me. He barks on me continually to this day. He'll bark on me, but he won't, go to the level of physical abuse or mental abuse or anything like that. Play mind games or anything like that. He just had, a different approach of parenting that's not common, especially within the half African American / Black FBA Foundational Black American household. That's part of the jokes. What's the most confusing day in the black in Harlem? Anybody? Anybody? What's the most confusing day in Harlem, Rick James? What's the most confusing day in Harlem, Greg S? You can look it up real quick. I'm about to say it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Father's Day. Ha ha ha. Yeah, exactly. Greg said it. Greg said it. Yeah, exactly. And on SNL, they just had another joke. They had the Ebony alert laws for missing black kids, and one of the jokes was said was I bet they're definitely not with their father. Ha ha ha! Everybody laughs, but it's a serious thing because black fathers have gotten the rap of not caring for their kids. But my dad raised my sister and myself by himself for 8 years. Then he got married, and he still raised us because my stepmom didn't really do the duties of raising us. She just, was there and said hi and allowed her house to be here, around, still her house. But Mother's Day, how it's cute. But that would be interesting if it was Mother's Day and it was all fathers that took care of the kids. That would be interesting. But such is not the case. Such is not the case. It is still ingrained in the American psyche that blacks and probably around the world that black men don't take care of their kids. There's movies about it. There's television shows about it. There's novels and books about it. Daddy, where are you? Rappers. Oh my God. Talk about hip hop. We want to talk about hip hop. How many Dear Mamas and Hey Mamas and I'll Always Love My Mamas, and that's not hip hop, but R&B songs and everything like that. It's all about mama, 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 mama. Chris Rock had a joke, mama, mama, mama. It's all about the mama. And what does Daddy get? The big piece of chicken. My dad made the big piece of chicken. He cooked the big piece of chicken. My dad is a great chef. He knows how to cook well. A whole meal, huge meals, Thanksgiving style meals, and everyday meals at that. So I'm not worried about, I never had the idea, where's my dad? I never knew my dad. My brother-in-law, he doesn't know who his father is, ever. Not at all. No clue. Could be the guy walking down the street. He wouldn't know. He has no clue who his father is. That's how serious it is. That's how it hits home. Very serious. Greg S says, maybe your mother did not want your stepmom raising you kids, but she kind of did. She didn't have any sway over my stepmom in any way. Rick James says, Daddy, wasn't there to take me to the fair to change my underwear? It seems he doesn't care. That's somebody's lines. I'm not going to read any more because I might get a community strike and a copyright strike. So if it's copyrighted, I can't say it. Be careful what you put. But it's just ingrained, especially in hip hop. All the songs, All That I Got Is You, Ghostface Killer. He's talking about his mom. There's so many more. Tupac, Kanye, Ye, so many people. R&B, Mama, song for Mama. And what's the song for Papa was a Rolling Stone? And there is one more song about that's a good like of fathers. It's like something about my daddy or something like that. But it's very few, very infrequent songs about fathers and daddies and papas and pops. Very few, few and far between. Um, but I ask you again: would you allow your spouse to raise your child, to be a step parent? Would you allow your spouse to be a step parent to your children, to your child? And why? Why would you let them? You think they would do a better job than you? Sometimes step parents do better jobs than your own flesh and blood. I know people in my family that this is the very case. Their stepfather was better than their own mother in many instances, in different ways. In very different ways, they were better than their spouse. The step parent virtually raised the child better than their own mother, and that's serious. That means that some people just aren't fit to be mothers or fathers. Some people just aren't cut out to be it. Some people are. It's a crapshoot. You don't know. Some people just are. Some people just aren't. Some people just aren't motherly. Some people aren't fatherly. Some people don't have that knack. Some people don't have that bit of understanding within them to say who they are and what they're about, and say that to the child and rear them and raise them and do everything that's possible. Buying the school clothes, buying them food, making sure they get up at a certain time, making sure they get dressed, making sure they get on the school bus, making sure they go to school, making sure they get on their homework. Go on and on and on and on. And we do it all the time. And we have to have, parameters, and we have to have guidelines and a council, just like in hip hop needs, I think, for parenting. Let me be the first one to say that. I've never heard anyone say that before. I've heard Mr. Troy Starks Ring say that for hip hop, but maybe we need that for parenting. Let the people, administrators, PhDs, people like that. Yes, Greg, as you have your mind in the gutter and you are acting very childish and immature. Rear them means to raise them, to bring them into understanding. That's the only thing I meant by rear them. Ha ha ha. Again, you say pause, I say resume. Gotta have the night where the two allegedly broke people on here are saying, off the wall stuff. But I enjoy them. I'm having a good time. It's good times. I'm teasing out this question that was just bouncing in my head today. Because in my experience, my step parents were either virtually a ghost or a fond pleasant presence. A fond and pleasant presence. I'm talking about my stepmother. She's, we like I said, we've butted heads before. We've had disagreements and everything like that. But she never laid a hand on me. She never burned me with a cigarette. She never, you know, pushed me down a flight of stairs or anything like that. She never, I don't think she's ever cursed me out or anything like that. She's cursed my dad out a few times, and he cursed her back, but nothing like that. Nothing, anywhere near there. Why would I bow down? I will give you the mark, because Greg says one day I'm going to donate a lot and you'll need to bow down. I will not bow down. I'll bow down like this, but I'll not capitulate or be on my knees or anything like that. And we got 3 people in here. 3 people. Where's the third person? Show yourself. Cash App is on the screen. Don't forget that this is a machine that is a money machine. I get more money than this in a week than I get in a few months on vocal.media. So I might just, I let vocal.media breathe a little bit, but I may not, be messing with them for too long because they're doing something funny with the money. So I'll keep you posted on that. But for all the step parents out there that are a part of their spouse's children's lives, salute you. Salute. Because you don't have to. Like my brother's father. He didn't have to, and he didn't. He didn't say really more than a sentence to me in my whole time of knowing him. And that was from 93 to about 2002. So about 9 years. So that's when I stopped going over to my mom's house. And so he definitely wasn't a presence. His presence wasn't felt in my life. I had nothing to do with him, and he had nothing to do with me. And we didn't, again, we need guidelines and protocol and counsel and parameters in order to let people know, like, I'm here just for your mama. I don't have anything to do with you. I don't want to do anything to do with you. I'm only going to raise my son. And if there is any consolation for him, I have to say, if he did anything more than my mom did for my brother, then salute to him. I'll salute him, because my brother is a first responder. He was a fireman. He is or was a fireman. He's definitely a first responder. I'll say that much. But he came into the world, knowing that his mom and dad weren't married and things of that nature, and how he had 3 other siblings and they had different fathers. My mom had 4 kids by 3 different men. Okay, so I mean, we made it work though. I mean, we all banded together. We got together, except for my brother's father. I wouldn't even call him my stepdad or my stepfather. I'll just say my brother's father. So I'll give him credit. If my mom, because she passed away, like I said, almost 13 years ago, I will give him credit for raising somebody that's of standing in the community, in his own as an individual. He's a proper example of what you should be. He became what you want to be when you're a little kid. What I wanted to be when I was a little kid. I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to be a fireman. And didn't work out. I became a Marine, but I love writing. It's not my thing, but that be a first responder with his lovely wife, and they're both first responders. So that's just great. Greg S says, so he's not a criminal. Hooray for him. Yeah, so even if he was a criminal, it would have been better to say that it was on him rather than his father. Because his father he just didn't care at all about basically anyone. I don't think he even cared enough about my mom in certain circumstances. But he wouldn't even say people's names. He never said my name or addressed me in any way whatsoever. Ever. Not once. And I'm not mad at that, because I didn't need him to. My dad says my name. He gave me my name. I love my name. We have great conversations. We lock heads sometimes, but we have an understanding amongst each other, or between each other. 4 people in here. Who's the 4th person? Who's 3 and 4? Go to the live chat. Once again, Cash App is visible. So I'm very fortunate. I'm a very fortunate person. I know that most people would agree that you need 2 people in the household. Maybe that's true. Maybe not. I know my dad raised us for 8 years. He did a wonderful, fantastic, above the and beyond job. Like there's no equivocating in that. There's no going back and forth. He did a fantastic job, and continues to do a fantastic job as my caregiver. So he hasn't left my life at all. We've been together strong for 35 years. It's great. I'm not mad at all. So, with all the people that are with all the people that are used to, being in a relationship, they should know exactly the terms of what is going to happen. And I remember his own daughter, my brother's and his half sister. She's just like, she wasn't feeling it. She said a word, but I'm not going to repeat it. About him, and she, that wasn't flattering. She knew, what we were dealing with. She could understand. She could definitely feel it because he wasn't much of a father to her because he didn't have custody, and she's in, I think, North Carolina, and she just came up for a little piece of the summer, and she didn't really have anything to do with him, not much really. But I mean, I don't know their full relationship. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just asking that question. Would you let your spouse be a step parent to your child? Would you let them do more than you do in their life than you have done? And is it a result of continuing on with the legacy of bringing people into this world, and you're just being a mother or father? You're not being a mama or a papa or a mommy and a daddy. You're just the sperm donor and the egg carrier. You're just breeders, as LGBTQ like to call single, like straight people like us. I think that's one of the funniest insults. I don't even know if it's fun insult. They need to come up with better insults. That's not hard enough. Like, you can't say the F word. You can't say the F word on YouTube. You get shut down. You know the F word. When I'm referring to LGBTQ, you know what F word I'm talking about. You can't say a lot of words. Queer used to be a word that used to be derogatory, but they owned it, like the word nigger, a nigga. It's just like a goat. You fricassee it, you fry it, you bake it, you you sizzle it. It's still a goat. You put the Nigga or Niggah, and it's still nigga. Same thing with queer. Even though you can say it only one way, queer still means, somebody odd or weird or off the chains and stuff like that. But they've reclaimed it and said, it's I'm, unusual. I'm unique. I'm special. I'm different. Like in those words. You could say the F word. It's pre-recorded, Greg S says. I don't think so. I mean, this is live, by the way. I don't know if you've realized it. This is a live broadcast. You just said that live. I can't say this on a live cam. How do you know so much about LGBTQ lingo? Suspect. How's a suspect? All you have to do is be an investigative journalist like myself. I investigate journalists and watch programs that deal with LGBTQ community issues. People like Harvey Milk, stuff like that. You have to be informed about all different people. They may not be like you, but you would want to learn about their culture. Sassy Sky Saunders, ha ha, Q, ha ha. I'm sassy, but you're the one, wondering about LGBTQ when you should know. And then you're not even man enough to just put in too man enough to put in the painting nails emoji. So you put in a painting nails emoji. So I have to wonder about you. Sashay, Shantae, Greg S. Are you gay? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, sister girl. Hey, Greg S. Hey, girl. A toot. Hey, a beep. That's going back. That's going way back. If you know that. Well, we're James. You're a freeloader too, or a free rider. You like to hear you want to be called free rider. I call you a freeloader too. You're both free riders. You're both freeloaders. I'm getting no money off of this broadcast right now. That's fine. I'm still putting in the work. I'm still getting a lot of I'm gonna get a lot of views from this because it's gonna go into Mr. Troy Star Train's community section. And I appreciate him for doing that. He doesn't have to do that, but he does. So I appreciate it. That's the hater too. Like he doesn't have to. He hates on me sometimes. I just have to accept it. But yes, mothers and fathers and sisters and daughters and brothers and just sons and daughters. It's just how you turn out. I remember, like I told this story before, 25 years ago. If my mother didn't stop me from stealing the little caps on your on the tire that you put pressure in, you put air in. If I didn't get stopped by that, I'd be probably doing 25 to life right now. Because I would have been going on to bigger and bigger and bigger jobs. I was breaking, carts and stuff with cinder blocks. Just wild stuff, wild shit with white boys mainly. But yeah. So that's where I am right now. That's what I'm rolling on. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm understanding at this point in time. It's a fact that we have to realize that so many people are. Oh, I was not throwing bricks off of bridges. That's next level, stupid, silly, evil, vicious, devious stuff. You don't ever do anything like that. People have been killed because of that. I would never do anything like that. I just messed up some carts from Bradley's. That's it. Some shopping carts. And that was it. But but my dad, it definitely saved me on many times. You know, there was a fight I had when I first met my neighbor. His sister died recently. His baby sister died. His younger sister. And my dad marched me over to his house and said, my son, just got hit in the face by this young man, and I want to know what you're going to do about it. And it's just like, come in here. I guess he just disciplined him. I don't think he, physically hit him. I think he just verbally hit him. Oh, you off the sisters? That's not even funny. She died of an asthma attack, actually, to be honest. So that's pretty serious. Height. So I don't have a broke nigga in here all day. Height. You didn't miss much, except me going in on these sand niggers in Gaza. We need to flatten them. I need your support, sir. I have broke niggas in the room right now. You have given plenty of dollars. I appreciate it. I need you to come through. We have $0 of $80 raised. Yeah, but I'll just give a real quick recap. I was talking about Fat Joe. I was talking about he wants a casino with Roc Nation. He wants a steak. He wants to get a bag. The tenant association, Lafargue, president, she's not having it. She's saying it's a residential area right next door to Times Square, and then she doesn't want signatures signing off on them. And I'm just talking about, let me ask you this question. Would you let your spouse be a step parent to your child? I mean that in a way of, would you be more parenting? Would they be more parenting than you, in a sense? And you just sit back and kind of, play the role, collect the child support checks or something like that. What would you do in that situation, Height? I'm talking to you because you have money. You have the set. You have say. I'll let it go a little bit over an hour to let it be known. So you just hit me up with that dollar amount. Could be $5, $10. Do what you got to do. I appreciate it. I thank you for it, and we can keep this thing moving and popping and shaking. So I'm gonna give a little bit of time, but I still think that it is possible for step parents to quote unquote step up. Okay, height says I don't have a spouse or kids, but I would be more of the parent than my spouse in your scenario. Okay, very well. I don't respect that. PayPal right there. PayPal just in case, just if you feel it, man. I'm not gonna press you. I'm not gonna force you. I will not force anyone unless they're gonna force me. But you have the floor. You can say what you want because you have donated to this machine before, and I would appreciate if you did it again. So that's all I can say about that much. But yeah. So I mean, in different scenarios, like I was saying, I have like my stepmom. She's like in the passenger seat. She was the main driver, and my mom, she kind of like was in the back seat sometimes when she came to. She did put my brother's father over me in certain circumstances. It did happen. Sadly, she did do that. I didn't fault her for it. I understood that's her husband. She married, or that was her boyfriend at the time in some instances. But I could understand it. I understood it, and it became it made me a better man because I knew that I had a father that would never forsake me, nor leave me, nor do anything against me. I've broken his heart more than he has broken. He has never broken mine. I've disregarded him in certain circumstances publicly. I mean, it's embarrassing to me, but I'm just telling you guys the truth. I'm telling you the facts. I'm telling you reality. So there's that bit of truth that I have to say. So height, it's been great. If you don't send it, yeah, exactly. My father yeah, there is no resurrection of Jesus Christ. He died and his body was stolen. But I'm gonna be wrapping up. Height, you can send in a donation at any time. So make sure that you can send that PayPal and let it be known. And I'll be seeing you all probably sometime tomorrow. And thank you very much for watching. Take care.